Hello once again, hunters. Tonight I got something special for everybody. Not only am I going to be showing off our third and final playable character for Vengeance Hunters, but I'm also going to be showing off Vengeance Mode. We have three difficulty modes, Prey, Hunter, and Vengeance. And Vengeance is, it's pretty tough. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this. It'll be a little different. I'll even show off myself playing a little bit more tactically, and also showing off something new for Loony that was just recently added to his offensive kit to, well, actually give him a defensive option. So let's go ahead and get into this. So I'm going to go ahead and fire up the difficulty options, change it to Vengeance, and we'll start up the game. Select Loony. And we'll go ahead and speed through all the beginning because everybody's seen this who's been watching these videos. And one of the new kits for Loony is that his missile, his fist missile or FISSILE, will actually knock enemies down when you shoot enemies with it, including armored enemies where you see that yellow armor. It will break that armor now. Originally, it only stunned enemies when it hit them, but I found that Golem has a lot of defensive options because he can throw enemies, and the enemies that knock into other enemies will knock them over, so that gives him some good crowd control. Candy can cartwheel in and out with iframes, so Loony just didn't have any of that, and so he was a lot more difficult in the harder modes, like Vengeance mode that I'm showing off right now. And anyway, Loony here, as you can see, is more of a ranged character. Like, he's a ranged full screen combo monster. He has a lot of options to off the ground, which was that, and then hit enemies that are flying in the air, and then you're fast enough to get across the screen and even do a drop kick if you want. But you can stop and shoot a diagonal missile, you can shoot a missile straight down at the ground, and any grounded enemies will automatically pop back up. As you saw there, the B attack, if you hit an airborne enemy with the B attack, it'll knock them back up in the air. So enemies will fly all over the screen with Loony. He is absolutely hilarious in two-player mode, especially if you've got a character like Golem, where you can feed him airborne enemies to throw out of the air and pile drive or throw, or Golem can actually throw enemies and Loony can pop them up. It's pretty great. Even Candy can do that with her cartwheel too, so there's a lot of synergy among the cast. But one of the stars of the show here today, besides showing off Loony and his kit, is Vengeance Mode. Vengeance Mode is our hard mode, and what we did is we created a mode that not only has, like, you know, your basics, like you could have copped out and just added more health. Well, didn't quite do that. We did add more health, there is more speed, enemies are more likely to attack, so their aggression level is higher, and their speed of attack is faster. So on Vengeance Mode, and then also some enemies that have certain abilities, like we have some blocks, we have some shields, we have stuff like that. Some anti-airs actually in some cases. Oh, I love that. I set that up. They have shields, and they are more likely to use those when in Vengeance Mode. Actually, in each difficulty mode, it's set to be a little bit higher. So we didn't cop out and just make everything's HP higher. Everything is different. So Vengeance Mode will feel completely different than than our Hunter mode, which is our normal mode, and then Prey mode. Prey is basically going to be easy. Anybody's going to be able to finish the game probably on their first touch. Because I've got because you get a lot of extra continues and you get a lot of extra lives in that mode. Our normal mode, I'm hoping that people will probably get through the game, maybe the first 3 levels on their first try, maybe see part of level 3, maybe the end of level 2, and then, you know, got to get a little bit better, and you'll be able to get through the game pretty easy after a couple of attempts. So basically this game's going to be for any skill level or anybody who just wants it to be easier. So if you want easy, you got it. You want hard, you got it. You want something different on the hard mode, you got it. So yeah, there's a lot of fun things going on there with the difficulties, and Vengeance Mode is no joke. I designed the game, all the gameplay, and I am currently still figuring out my routing to be able to actually get through it, because you only get one continue, You have to keep scoring really big combos in order to raise your score, because your score actually gives you a 1-up every, I believe, 12,000. Currently it's 12,000. That might change. 12,000 on Vengeance mode to get a 1-up, and each one of those 1-ups are going to count because you only get one continue. So you're going to need to know where the 1-ups are in the stages, and you're going to need to keep those 1-ups coming. So that's all very important. So for people who want to do stuff like that, yeah, they're going to have to know that. But anyway, back to Loony. So as you can see, he can knock enemies basically back and against the wall, whether they're airborne or not. That was his special move. You know, as you can see, the gray health. And I'm going to be very strategic in hitting enemies, because if you get hit, that gray health goes away. So you want to make sure that you're hitting enemies and not getting hit. Because every time you hit live enemies, you'll notice that they're dead. You don't get it back, or you get it back very slowly. So I think I use it again here pretty soon, or I use it twice, and then I'm very, very careful. Maybe not. Anyway, that is his move, where Golem has like a big thing of electricity that knocks enemies away. Candy shoots out all these knives that will actually stun enemies for, I think, a couple of seconds, so it's a really good crowd control move. It also does double damage on airborne enemies, so you can route it where you can use that move pretty often, and you can get very quick kills, and makes it really good for speed running. But there's a lot of risk there, so if you get hit, and these guys actually can poke you real easily, the cavemen specifically, that can make things a lot more difficult. So you will need to know where, you know, basically just be careful. Like right there, I tried to use a charge attack, and I knew that guy, there was a 50-50 chance he was going to use an attack on me, and he used an attack. So, got to be careful, and every hit matters in Vengeance mode. So, Loony also has air combos, kind of like Candy. He doesn't have as many, but he basically has an AAA that will knock enemies. Like, his whole design is that he's so overpowered, like he can't control the power, basically. He knocks enemies across the screen, and you can also end it with like AAB, and he does a hammer fist down, and that will slam any enemies that are in front of you also down, so it's a little bit of a crowd control. It also does more damage too, so it's a good ender. And there I avoided the rolling rock. I've been doing this same route for every video. Right there, I tried to set it up to hit the enemies, but the enemies didn't quite cooperate. That's another thing in Vengeance mode. The enemies will, like I said, they're more aggressive, and they try to get around you, so it makes it a lot harder to just kind of stack them up and do a bunch of damage. It's much easier in easy mode and normal mode. Oh, and this is kind of like, I'm not sure I really talked about this, but one thing that's a pet peeve in a lot of my beat 'em ups in general is entrance. Like a lot of beat 'em ups, the characters just like the enemies just sort of like walk onto the screen. In this game, it's pretty rare. As you can see, they burrow in from underneath the ground, they drop in from the top of the ceiling, they will walk in from the side. There might be later where they might teleport in. There'll be enemies that will attack as they come in, like knives out. There is a lot of stuff going on. And here I'm trying to do combos with the rocket launcher, which is pretty fun. You can do some pretty sick stuff if you do it right. I'm not sure I actually achieve any on this run, but okay, that one's pretty alright. And this guy hits me with his head. That son of a bitch. Also, the point values that you see on all this stuff, I actually already changed all those this weekend. So all the point values have gone way up. So it's actually quite a bit easier now to get a 1-up. So that's going to be part of the balancing. We don't have too many immunity frames, so when you stand up, you can get juggled by the enemies. I know some people will hate that, but it was actually a conscious decision to not have iframes pretty much. And it works out pretty well because there's some hilarious things that can happen to you. So hopefully that doesn't frustrate too many people. And here I'm kind of demonstrating the power of Loony, like part of his kit is he can play keep away. But as you can see, part of the balance is it doesn't do much damage. It's actually his lowest damaging attack is hitting an enemy and knocking him against a wall. Does not do that much damage. So you could technically sit there and hit enemies, but there's a good chance in some cases, in some waves or groups, you might run out of time and then you'll lose a life. And nobody wants that. But you could technically play it easy on maybe even cheese vengeance mode all the way to the end with that. However, there is some enemies that are absolutely immune to that, including bosses. So as you'll probably see on the boss up here, you cannot knock them down. You can't knock anything that's classified as a heavy down in the game. So that guy almost grabbed me. Grabs very rarely land in normal mode. You have to be kind of standing there for a while. At least they don't land on me because I know to avoid them. In vengeance mode, I get caught pretty often, and it's riling because I don't normally get caught. And there's the BBB combo. And there I stopped that armored attack. And then that guy, when these guys get low HP, they explode. These guys just explode. The low HP on the darker green guys, they can catch you pretty often. And that was a conscious decision to do that specific combo because I knew that guy would be rolling at me and I would catch him with the AoE. Because Loony's AoE on that is ridiculous. It's pretty far. Like most everything else with him, he's very range-centric, but he doesn't have as many defensive options. And he's about middle of the road when it comes to health. Golem has 200, I believe Loony has 180, and Candy has 160. That might change a little bit, but we'll see. And here's the boss. And you'll notice me be very, very careful with him. And you'll also notice he has a lot more HP. Like, I'm not murdering him, even though I'm using similar tactics. Because, again, he's faster, he hits harder, he's more aggressive, and he has more HP. And he gets new moves every phase. See, here I'm trying to stop him from shooting at the boil babies, which I did. I'm trying to avoid his attacks, got hit. I was seeing if I could do this without dying. Pretty often I'll do it without dying in stage 1, but this one I wanted to actually show off, like, this is difficult even for the guy who made it. And I'm trying to get optimal damage in so I can basically deal with him. All right, he's going to do his little attack. If you don't stop this, which you'll see me use like jump attacks there, if you don't stop that, he gets half of his HP bar back. So we recently added in that attack because some people weren't actually swinging at him. At some point here, I get comboed real hard and I almost die a second time. I do believe. So stopped him there. Oh, maybe I don't get comboed. I think I just finish him. Oh, yeah, here I got combo. I almost died a second time. Gets boil babies out. I almost get hit by that. I did get hit by that. So I almost died at the end there. Yeah, and that's actually our pixel artist, Thomas. That is his voice. He's Irish. He claimed Loony for Ireland. So this is his character or his design basically, because he was designed differently for how he was supposed to look. And Thomas said, no, this is for Ireland. So anyway, that was Loony. That was also Vengeance mode. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And I'll try to bring or try to create some new videos that maybe shows off our dev process. And hopefully you guys all are having a wonderful weekend. Take care. Bye.